Hey everyone, I'm coming to you from La Selva Biological Field Station in north central Costa Rica. I'm on a 2-week teacher workshop with 15 other science teachers from across the country. There's 4 of us from Brevard County. We were selected to come down here and conduct a research project, and I'm very excited. It's going very well. We've actually, our project, we've set out camera traps or trail cameras in both old growth rainforests and secondary forests that have been cut down and have been regrowing. And we've been catching pictures of animals over the last 3 or 4 days, and we still have several more days of data capture. We've caught puma, ocelot, peccaries, several other small animals. Setting camera traps is not all that we've been doing. We've had nightly lectures on different topics, from global climate change to Antarctica and Greenland. We've had the chance to go out on a river rafting trip down the river that I just showed you back there. We've also climbed up some of their observation towers. We climbed straight up and actually got above the canopy of the rainforest and looked out over the expanse. I mentioned a minute ago these peccaries, and I actually have them right here walking by. All right, as you can see, they're little pig-like. We're walking through the mammals rainforest on one of the first sunny days we've had, and we're heading to a tower to climb.
It's connected with a bridge at 25 meters high to the second tower, which is the tallest tower, which is around 46 meters high, and that's like the average of the canopy level. So there is really nice view from the top of the second tower. You can see the canopy, how dense it is.
Hello everyone, I'm at La Selva Biological Station, and I am literally at the top of the world. We're over 50 meters up on the towers, and we're actually above the canopy, as you can see from behind me. What an amazing view we have up here. Hey, I also wanted to give you a quick tour of the field station. I'm walking right now towards the herbarium. Check it out. This is where all of their plant collection is kept. Inside that room is probably one of the coldest rooms here, keeping the moisture down low. Behind me we see laboratories, research areas where they're conducting experiments, other laboratories over there, and housing for the graduate students and professors. Okay, here's a shot of a few more of the labs, maybe some classrooms and living quarters. They're very big into recycling. And even a ping pong table for a little recreation. Okay, this is probably the most important place at the field station, the dining hall. So take a look. Take a look at what it looks like. We got TV, the only TV on the field station. All right, so I've explained to you a little bit about our project. We're using camera traps. We also know them as trail cameras to catch wildlife here at La Selva. We marked off 2 areas. We've divided the field station or the land into 2 types. Old growth forest, old growth rainforests, and secondary forests that have been cut down and they're slowly returning to their pristine environment, which takes a long time. So we've set up 8 cameras total, 4 in the old growth, 4 in the secondary, and we set them up along these trails like the one I'm walking on, and every several days we come out here and we pull the SD card out of the camera to see what it caught on the digital cameras. We found pumas, peccaries, ocelots, possums, lots of unknown organisms. We've even found a few birds. So what I want to do is show you one of the cameras. I have one, there's one right here that I'm walking by. And if you take a look, you can see that camera right there. So we have 8 of these right here set up around La Selva. We have 2 others that we've just set out for fun, where we think we might catch some interesting animals. So right now I'm in the secondary forest. This area is once completely cut down except for a few trees were left standing, and I got one right over here. Maybe you can see it. You can see how much bigger this one tree here is than anything else in the area. I'll spin all the way around. What's really neat about this one are the buttresses. You see these parts that extend outward here at the base of the tree. So take a look at that. These are called buttresses that we see all this down here. Helps us stabilize the tree, because if I can stand back here and look up, you can get an idea that this is a pretty massive tree. Very cool. This is an old tree. So another animal that's very common out here is an insect, and it's called the leafcutter ant. Right down here, following the edge of this trail here, is a whole line of leafcutter ants. These little ants, and some of them are actually carrying these big chunks of leaves. They've climbed up a tree, they've cut out this chunk of leaf, they've brought it down the tree, and now they carry it along a row all the way back to their nest. So we can see some right here. Let me kind of show you what I'm talking about. Pretty amazing. If you stand in front of them and block their path, they have a hard time figuring out where they need to go. There's a couple others. Hopefully this is all in focus. Oh, so cool. Leafcutter ant. Alright, so that was insects, just one example. How about amphibians? There's a type of frog down here called the blue jean frog, and it's a type of dart frog, poison dart frog, and I see one right down here. I'm going to see how close I can get the camera to him so you can see him. Now, one thing I've learned about them is that they'll actually lay their eggs down here or lay them somewhere, and once the eggs hatch into the tadpoles, they'll put a tadpole on their back and then carry them up into the top, high up into the canopy, and put the tadpoles into the cups of the bromeliads that are growing up there. Ooh, I don't know what I just heard, but that was loud. I better go. Alright, right now I'm watching a pair of peccaries walking through the forest. I just heard this loud growling sound, so I don't know if something was bothering them or if they were making the sound themselves, but it was really loud. Looks like he's getting pretty close to me. Maybe I'll try to turn the camera around so you can see him. So that's a peccary. It's a small pig-like mammal related to the pigs. Termites are also pretty common out here. Unlike back home, when we think of termites, we think of them living in a house, eating away at the wood. Out here, they build these huge nests, these big black masses high up into the trees. I'll try to find one up in the tree. And then they climb down the trees, find dead wood or whatever kind of wood that they feed on, bring it back to their nest. Right here in front of me is a nest that's fallen down and broken open probably quite a while ago, but it's a great example. So take a look. Alright, so this termite nest isn't high up in the tree, but it is growing on the side of this tree, pretty low, but you can definitely see an active one right here. And you see these little tunnels, these little dark lines are actually tunnels that the termites walk through as it heads down to the ground. And of course, there's also all sorts of fungus out here, kingdom fungi. There's one growing on the side of this tree right now that's just a beautiful orange color, so take a look. Over here there's another one. Let me get up close to that one. Pretty cool looking. There's one that's more red, that's like or orange, still an orangish red color. It's called like a wine goblet, a wine glass fungus, and I see two of them right here, so take a look. Yeah, we see these popping up all over the place out here. A minute ago I mentioned bromeliads, where the blue jean frog likes to take the tadpoles. Maybe you don't know what those are. So here's one example. I'm going to show you a couple more, but this is an example of a bromeliad. You can see what it looks like. You can kind of see, if this was pointing more straight up, how down each one of these leaves are like little cups, and when they're on the tree, high up, just up on the tree, whether high up in the canopy or not, they collect tons of rainwater. A lot of insects and amphibians and so forth, birds even, can go to these for water or for their tadpoles. I'm still going to try to find a better one. Give me a second. All right, this is more like the species I was thinking of earlier. You can see this one right here, and you can just see right up in there how there is little cups of water. Here's another larger one. You never know what you might see when you look into them. Oh my gosh, do you see that? Those are the eggs of some sort of frog. If you look real close, you can actually see them moving around. That is so cool. You just never know what you're going to see out here. I just walked around this corner, went around this tree, and off to the distance here, all of a sudden this troop of howler monkeys just started going crazy up in the trees. They quieted down some as I've approached them, and I could see them moving up in there. It's hard to see the actual monkeys, but I can see all the limbs moving. So you can look up here. I don't think with the GoPro you can actually see them, but they can get so loud. They're just this amazing sound in the forest. One minute the forest is quiet with some cicadas and other insects and frogs, and next thing you know, these howlers are just so loud. If I can't get some shots on my camera, I definitely took some the other day, so I'll show you those. All right, the howler monkeys just started up again, so they're right over here, so can you hear the sound they make? So I'm not sure if you can see this, but there are all these tiny little wasps flying around the base of this tree and a lot of leafcutter ants. Let's see if you can see them. I really don't want to get that close because I imagine they can sting. All right, if you look around me, there's one thing we definitely notice, and that there's lots of plants. Kingdom plantae. we can start dividing all these plants into groups. We could talk about the monocots and the dicots, meaning having one monocotyledon or two cotyledons. We can look at vascular plants versus non-vascular plants. We can look at plants that produce fruits, those that produce cones. All around me, all these trees and most of the plants are vascular plants, meaning they have vascular tissue that transport water from the roots up to the leaves, and also nutrients, glucose, and so forth from the leaves down to the roots. So these plants can go really tall, they can grow upwards far away from the water. Our non-vascular plants have to stay close to the ground, which is moist. And basically, looking around here, we see several examples. One, well, they fall into a group called the bryophytes. They include the hornworts and liverworts, like these right here. And also the mosses. Right up here is a great example of a moss growing on the side of the tree. Now, those are our non-vascular plants. Then we get to our vascular plants, and basically we can look at two types of vascular plants. We have our seedless, those that don't produce seeds, and those that do produce seeds. The tracheophytes, or ferns, are vascular plants that do not produce any seeds. And if we look right here, we can see this big expanse of ferns. Is there a fern tree nearby? I don't think so. You notice most of these are still growing pretty close to the ground, but there are some very tall ones. And then we have those plants that do produce seeds, like our angiosperms and our gymnosperms. That's it. All right, well, that's about it. I hope everybody enjoyed the video of this experience down here at La Selva. I'll be back to school on Monday, so I'll see everybody there. And I'll just kind of leave you with some little slideshow of some of the wildlife that we've seen since we've been here. See you Monday.